Hi, I'm Jessica Taylor from inkitupwithjessica.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make an easy fun fold card. The base of this fun fold is super easy, and then you can use anything you want, as simple or as embellished as you like, for the front. To make the card base, I'm going to start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to turn it the long way and cut it at 4.25 inches. This is going to give me two pieces that are 4.25 by 11, so I can make two fun fold cards. If you like to measure, you're going to score this piece at 2 3/4 inches. And on my paper cutter, the lighter gray blade is the scoring blade. And then you're going to score it at 5.5 inches. Then I'm just going to fold my card in half at the 5.5 inch score line. And I like to give it a good crease with my bone folder. And then I'll fold back on the 2 3/4 inch score line and give it another good crease. If you don't like to measure, you can just take your 4.25 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, fold it in half, give it a good crease, and then fold the edge of the front back to the fold of the card. Make sure it's all lined up and give it another good crease. Either way, there is your fun fold card base. For the front of my fun fold, I have a piece of Snowflake Splendor pattern paper from Stampin' Up, and I cut just a little bit bigger Whisper White mat. So this is 3 by 4, this is 3.25 inches by 4.25 inches, and they layer really nicely. My bunny is stamped with this cute little skiing bunny stamp from the Friesen Fun stamp set. And I'm going to stamp him in Jet Black StazOn ink, just on a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then I'm going to cut him out with a die. You could just fussy cut him out with scissors, but I am not a big fan of that. All right, I got a great image there. And then I'm going to color in the bunny with some Highland Heather Flirty Flamingo ink and then a blender pen. So if you squeeze the lid of your ink pad down when you open it up, there will be just a little bit of ink pooled in there. And then you can leave that open and then take your blender pen and pick up some of that ink and then use that to color with. I am not the best colorer and I do not love to color, but this bunny, it's just a scarf and the skis really, so it's not very much that needs to be done. I can handle this much. So I'm just gonna do his skis. There's a lot you can do with watercoloring with shading and different colors. I like to keep it simple. Get the back of that ski. All right, that looks pretty good to me. And then I usually have a piece of scratch paper handy, but you're just gonna wipe it off until it runs clear so that you can move to the next color. I prefer to only have one ink pad open at a time, otherwise I tend to make a big mess. Okay, I want this to be really light, and then I'm just gonna make some rosy cheeks. That's darker than I really wanted it. I'm gonna color in his, that is really dark. That's okay, he's got nice rosy cheeks, he's been out skiing. If you want it to be lighter, just keep kind of rubbing it off on the side there and it will get a little bit lighter. Next, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine so that I can do the snowflake embossing on the fun fold card base and also cut this fun ski hill for my bunny to ski down. What I love about the Cut and Emboss machine is that it tells you exactly on the base plate what sandwiches you need to build to use dies and embossing folders. So I'm going to start by doing the embossing on this front flap of the card. And so I'm going to use the Winter Snow embossing folder. And my sandwich is going to be the number 1 plate, a number 3 plate, and then I'm going to put my card, and I like to start my card through, and then I'm just going to capture the very front flap with the embossed design. I'll put another number 3 on top. This one I've used to do a lot of cutting, and then I'll just run that through. So now the front flap of my card has some really pretty snowflake embossing on it. To cut out my bunny, I'm going to use the number 1 base plate followed by the number 2 for dies. I'm going to put my number 3 down. This one is the one that I use for the base, but if you switch your cutting plates, they will last longer if you keep flipping them. So I'm going to go ahead and put my bunny down on there. And then these are the Friesen Friends dies that coordinate with the stamp set that I used. And I'm just going to take the bunny shape and center it around here. Now, if you want to make sure that this stays in place as you run it through your machine, you might want to just use a Post-it note or some washi tape to hold it in place. So I want to make sure that I have that really nice and lined up. And then I'll just put that across there, put another number 3 on top, and roll that through. Take my Post-it note off, and there is my adorable skiing bunny. This die is what I use to make the snow hill. So I'm going to start out with a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's just a little bit longer than I want it to be. That way I can adjust the hill as I want it. I have my same sandwich as I used to cut out the bunny. Number 1 plate, number 2 plate, number 3 plate. I'm not so worried about this staying in place. If it moves a little bit, that's okay. So I'm going to put another number 3 plate on top and roll that right through. And now I have 2 ski hills to use on my cards. Okay, now that we have all of our pieces cut, let's go ahead and put this card together. So again, this is a 3" by 4" piece. This is a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4" piece. So they layer just really nicely. Now you'll notice that this paper has a little bit of different color. Some of it is more purpley, some of it is more blue. So every card is going to look a little bit different, which is a great thing. That's what makes it handmade. So I'm going to take my ski hill and I'm just going to decide where I want it on my card. So if I went with the bottom how it is, then he'd really be going down there. So maybe this is okay, or maybe I want to cut a little bit more off the bottom, but I think that's going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off at 4 inches. Then I'll just go ahead and tape this piece on. And just making sure to line that up with the bottom corners. You know what? I actually cut it a tiny bit too short, but that's okay. We're just going to have a little border showing around the edges. Totally fine. Then I like to add just a little bit of Wink of Stella. This just adds a little bit of shimmer and shine. So I just kind of, you want to gently squeeze because I don't want a ton. But then I'm just going to kind of rub the brush over the whole ski hill so that it kind of adds just that fresh snow look with the sun just kind of shining off of it. I'm also going to add just a little glistening to the bunny. He's been working hard skiing down the hill. Got a little covering of snow on himself. So cute. Then we're going to go ahead and make sure that this has a nice crease on it still. And you want to make sure that you're only putting the adhesive on this side because you want it to be taped down to this part, but you don't want this part to be taped down or you will tape your card shut. Yes, I've done that a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to this side, about half of the back of this, maybe a little bit in the middle. And then to make sure that it's all the way to the edge, I'm going to go ahead and add a line of adhesive right on the fun fold card front. Then we'll center that and go ahead and tape it down. The bunny I like to add on with Stampin' Dimensionals so it's popped up. So I'm going to use a couple of the bigger dimensionals and then a couple of the mini ones to make sure that everything is popped up really well. If you stick your finger in the middle of the dimensional backing, then it will come off a little bit easier. It also helps if you have some fingernails, which I do not always. Brush those out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and put our bunny on the ski hill. So there is a nice fun fold card. Now, because I used a darker color of cardstock, I would add a white insert. If you're going to stamp anything on it, I would stamp it before you tape it down, but that just makes it easier to write on, but it's hidden behind your bunny. I wanted to show you one more fun fold card idea with the same base. So this one, I cut a window in the front. This piece is a little bit different. This is a little bit bigger. It's 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. I embossed it with the Snowflake Winter Snow embossing folder, and then I punched a circle out. I used a 1 3/4 inch circle punch to punch that out and make a window for my seal. And then I just stamped my seal on Whisper White, colored them in, stamped a greeting on Whisper White, cut these out with the 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and then added my little insert. This is the same base fun fold card, just another option with a peekaboo window. So I really hope that you'll give this fun fold card a try. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and happy stamping.